so all of a sudden Tesla, who's invested so much in Europe and China, will be shut off completely, and they're going to be replaced by Chinese, and it'll be fine for great for the Chinese, fine for the Europeans, bad for Tesla, bad for America, and that's basically where stuff's going. America right now, and Donald Trump is the most hated man in the world, and particularly in Europe. And Canada. Let's not forget Canada. They don't like Trump either. And there is an ongoing boycott of everything American in Western Europe. I see it every time I go there. It's like nobody buys American products. I don't buy American products for the same reason. He needs to be punished. And if that's a way to punish him, so be it.
I think Canada also is boycotting America.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
My wife was just at the grocery store picking up some pop, and we get a no-name pop now, and it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Coke's there all over the place. Pepsi's there all over the place. The no-name stuff that's produced here in Canada, that flies off the shelves. So that's just a small indication.
Yeah, and it's true, and there is a campaign. Anyway, we are heavily into the closing comments, pearls of wisdom part of the show, so I want to make sure we get to everybody. And let's see. Oh, it's the great and powerful Reverend Scott. It's your turn to do closing comments, pearls of wisdom.
Thank you. Great to see everybody, and great to see, of course, the great Ben Mendelsohn. And when my screenplay is sold, which is going to be The Diplomat's Spouse, about his life as a secret agent, he's going to get all of the royalty. It's going to be it's going to be either a movie or a serial drama. I'm not sure which yet.
You're working on.
As we talk about the future of the Democratic Party, what I constantly am going back to is Ezra Klein's conversation with Gary Gerstle. Gerstle wrote a book called The Rise and Fall of the Neoliberal Order, and he introduced Klein in that discussion to the concept of political orders, right? And you're in an order, right, when your opponents adopt your strategies, right? So he has two. I mean, Gerstle thinks there's two in the 20th century. There's FDR's, New Deal liberalism. And what does Eisenhower do? Does he come in and say, "Oh, I'm going to undo this and roll it"? No, he expands the government, right? He as a Republican, he builds the middle class. He through things like the GI Bill and through things like the interstate highway system. He is in the shadow of FDR, even though he's a Republican. And the second one is the neoliberal order, which comes in the 70s, right? And this is it's seen as Reaganism. And what do the Democrats do? They imitate it, right? When Bill Clinton comes in, like the great Democratic hope, what does he do? He said something Reagan-esque, right? The era of big government is over, right? He collaborates with Gingrich and that stuff, right? Because the order of the day is neoliberalism, right? And so the question is that order collapsing, right? Which I think it probably, and his Gerstle's argument is it's coming to an end. It's teetering at the financial crisis, right? And along with skepticism with things like Iraq on international alliances and things like that. Trump and right-wing populism is a response. I don't know if it'll be the victorious response, but it's the response, right? And I think what we're doing very often, what Kamala Harris did was double down on the old order, right? Double down on a defense of democratic neoliberalism in the face of a populist challenge, which I think is a losing strategy. Now, I think, I don't like Mamdani's anti-Semitism, but I think Mamdani might be the face in many other ways of a left-wing populist response, right? What like something that would not be the sort of business as usual neoliberalism. And I think we got to look at people like that. I mean, that I think that sort of populist left-wing response. And again, some people, it might be too left-wing for some people when you're talking about government grocery stores and stuff, but I do think Mamdani's got it, right? I mean, he's got his finger on the pulse when people feel like the system's not working for them, especially in New York, where they feel like it's unaffordable and just oppressive in just the way things are outpriced for the average New Yorker. That's a guy to pay attention to, and I think that's the future of trying to think through what does it look like to sort of part with neoliberalism? And again, another option is Ezra Klein's abundance agenda, right? I mean, there's another viable picture of a way to go that transcends sort of the neoliberal take, which again, I think we doubled down on in the last election, and it wasn't helpful. Thanks, everybody. Great to see you.
Thank you, Reverend Scott. That was great. A lot of wisdom there. All right. Oh my goodness. I'm looking at our stage here, and it just occurred to me that Lou is here. Oh my goodness, Lou. We haven't heard from you in such a long time. I'm gonna give you some space to get us caught up. First of all, where are you?
Long time no Lou.
No, Lou.
I was just listening for a long time, but it was okay because indeed I haven't been here for a very long time, so it was good to listen to you guys and the different opinions, and agree and disagree, and catching up a little bit with the American saga. Where am I? Italy?
Okay.
Where I will go soon. Sicily to have a djembe workshop with the biggest maestro in Guinea. So it's gonna be a big thing. Yes, a very big thing.
Sounds exciting.
And, yes, then I will go to Holland for work, and after that I will go to Capo Verde again, and I'm back since 2 weeks from Capo Verde.
Did you end up buying a property in Capo Verde?
Unfortunately not, but I have people now there, so they're looking for me. And the prices went up. They really, really went up. So if you, because I know you have money, you have money, I strongly suggest you invest in Capo Verde. And they expect that even Boa Vista is going up. So you can buy property there, and just let the money come without doing anything, basically. Really, because all these low-cost airlines are going to fly to Cape Verde now, which means there will be competition. More people will come, or will be crazy. And on one hand, it's good, of course, that you get more tourists. On the other hand, it's not good for the island because it will miss that the charm that Capo Verde has, that is a little bit secluded, touristic, nice, but not too much, And, so
It is one place that, while we're here in West Africa, I wish we would have gone. I don't know.
It didn't move. We still can go.
I know.
You're still alive.
I'm still there. We can still do it.
Don't postpone it, or you get maybe too old and then you don't do it anymore.
We can still do it. Well, we can do it from Porto. It's not so bad.
Yeah, exactly, and it's very cheap from Porto. Very, very cheap to go there. So
yeah, those Portuguese-speaking countries do support each other. So
yeah, but as for the political part, I haven't been following that much. Only the European part a bit. So we are counting back with a huge tariff counterback. I don't know how to call it, of 72 million. On certain products. I think this will have an impact on Americans, on American middle class. And maybe first we will be the most impacted, we as Europe, but eventually it will be American. And I don't know who is advising this guy, Trump, because these tariffs are gonna come back and hit you really hard.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And Europe does not need America. They just don't.
Exactly.
Everything that's American can be replaced by Chinese. Everything.
Yes. And we are already doing that, started to do that.
And you know who else gets a hand on this is Brazil. There's a lot of stuff Brazil can do.
Correct. The only thing I'm not so happy about is that the China thing, because China is very dangerous. It's doing, it seems like innocuous, but it's not.
Yeah.
It will become the most.
There's a little bit of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, sort of.
Well, more enemy is really an enemy. You have to compare it with Russia. Only Russia is clear in its aggression, and it's clear in its technique of spying and of compromising data and things like that. China, it does it better in a more subtle way, which is more dangerous. It's more dangerous. On the long run, it's more dangerous. China is something that we watch very good. And yeah, for Putin, I don't know what to say. Of course, it all depends what that orange guy is gonna do, because one day he loves Putin, the other day he doesn't like Putin, and yeah,
Well, you think about it, we have three simultaneous, horrible, awful, terrible people. We have Putin, Netanyahu, and Trump. And just think, if the three of them all three of them were in jail, how much better the world would be right now.
Yes, but this wishful thinking that will never happen. So you have to be realistic and work with what you have. Yeah, there is no way that Putin is going to be put to jail. There is no way that Netanyahu is going to be put to jail. There's no way in heaven and
But just imagine all the damage those three individuals have done.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all this triangle is all perfectly built in years and years, because it's very silly to think that this has happened because of what Trump came to power and whatever. Netanyahu was preparing this for a very long time. Putin has been preparing this for 30 years or longer, So it's a bit naive when you think like, oh yeah, but because now and that's what happened in... No. This is just reasons to give them power, to give them things that happen that gives them the reason to do what they were already planning to do for a long time. Yeah, and I am actually worried, because for us, what is important, okay, the terrorists, we can go around it. We do have what you said, we do have everything to sustain ourselves. We just are a chaos. The European Union is a chaos. He really has to do something. I don't know if you listen to Macron speak. I think that was very good. I'm not a big fan of Macron, never been. But in this case, yes. In this case, I think Europe needs a kind of a leader, somebody that stands out, and then it's going to be, on the front line.
I agree.
It's like, listen, we
I think
can
he's
do
been
it.
stepping up and filling the back.
It's been stepping up for different reasons. Of course, there's going to be election and whatever, so different reasons. He is maybe aiming to get a higher rank or whatever, but it's correct. It's what we need, and France is strong. It's very strong.
You're right.
Yeah.
We need to identify people who are charismatic and who are good communicators. And we talked a little bit about that in the United States. I've been very impressed with John Ossoff, and he's running for re-election, and you don't hear that much about him because he's a very. I think he's only he's only in his first term, and this is his first true re-election. I know that he was like, I think he had but he's really come out. I don't know if you've seen him speak, but he's really spot on. And I really like Gavin. I think Gavin is stepping up and really communicating well and strongly, and so has Chris Murphy. So we do have some stars, and we should really be utilizing them. Anyway, thank you so much, Luke. Did you want to land on that?
No, yes, just to land on that. It's just maybe this is what I always said is the wake-up call for Europe. I'm only worried about Meloni, because as usual, she's waiting, and she wants to be the Trump dog, and she's like very cautious in what she says and does, and no, we don't act too hard on the tariff, we don't think careful and things like that. She's playing the field as usual, and you know how it is.
Well, she's quite the politician.
She is. I'd always say that she's a very smart politician. I never said that she's not a smart politician. She's one of the smartest that Italy had for a very long time.
And you know what? The thing is, everybody had such low expectations for her that just because she is much better than we thought, she's managed to, keep everybody at bay.
No. But when I mean a good politician, I mean what a politician usually does, and that is for me a bad thing. And what it means is like trying to be manipulative and trying to keep the feet in different pair of shoes, but in the end doing actually nothing or make it worse for his own country. And that is, she's doing that perfectly. I'm telling you, so that means his back as the prime minister for Italy.
I hear you.
And it's also, Russia doesn't even have to fight like a gibberish war or whatever, or try to do propaganda in Italy. Italy is already a Russian satellite. It's been for a long time. They don't need to do anything in Italy because they will always defend Russia, no matter what. And this is really that I cannot comprehend it, because when I go to Holland, it's the other way around. And the last thing I want to tell you, and I think you guys are aware of this because of the York University, and I professor in our university, and what's happening in the university because of the orange guy. They want to come to Europe, and they've been invited from a lot of European countries, the higher tier. Yes, so half of Europe is inviting them. The only country that didn't invite anybody, that's Italy. Italy, of course. So there you go.
Which is so sad because you have such great academic.
It's sad because Italy is plunging back into the Middle Ages.
Direction.
Yeah.
Anyway, your voice. You need to mention it.
Yeah, I would try to be a little bit, to carry a little bit more fun, but if I'm not here, because I'm really not on Clubhouse, it just cut off and travel in and whatever do my thing.
All right, thanks, Luke.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we are definitely at the top of the hour. So what I'm going to do is sort of see who wants to do a closing comment, pearls of wisdom, and we'll sort of do it popcorn. Anybody want to go first? David, did you have any closing comment, pearls of wisdom? Oh, Moose, why don't you go, Moose?
Thanks. Yeah, I'll keep it short. It's I don't know if it's pearls of wisdom or just more awareness, but I just saw a headline and skimmed through the article. A 37-year-old professor in Camarillo, California, was abducted by ICE for having the audacity to protest. It was a cannabis raid, a cannabis farm raid.
Oh,
They were using the ICE agents were using tear gas, and this professor had, one of the tear gas canisters landed near a protester in a wheelchair, and so this professor had the audacity to try to run to the aid of this handicapped protester, and at that point he was abducted. The ICE agents were masked. They threw him in an unmarked vehicle, and he's still missing.
That is so fucked up. That's crazy. Well, thanks for the. I did hear a little bit about that. That's outrageous. Anyway, let's go to Andrew. Did you have any closing comment, pearls of wisdom?
Yeah, quickly. I read an article this morning. It was about ChatGPT. Microsoft Copilot had gone up against Atari 2600 replica chests, and both of them failed miserably. Can't do chess, and so then they went up against Gemini, and Gemini asked the person, was there anything? Well, first it said, "I'll kill you, I'll kill it."
Well, yeah,
because
they've learned that from Rob.
Multimodal LLM or whatever. And then it asked, is there anything that you found really significant in your other two competitions? And the guy responded, yeah, both of them said they'd kill it. And then Gemini said, yes, you're right. I won't be able to beat Atari 2600. So it declined to play. So there you go.
Wow, Atari 2600, a blast from the past. Thank you, Andrew. All right, let's go closing comment. Ken, do you have a closing comment?
Well, yeah, I actually thought you guys would talk about this because it's probably the number one issue that's being spoken about, at least in the United States today on domestic politics, is the Supreme Court ruling regarding allowing Trump to fire all these employees, particularly in the Department of Education. So what really is interesting about this is that the Department of Education, which every Republican president has wanted to dismantle, not just Trump, which is, to the people who don't know, it's only existed since the Carter administration. They used to, what?
Was it started during Nixon? Nixon started.
No, it was under Carter. It was under Carter. It was, and to be very blunt about it, it was Jimmy Carter's payoff to the NEA. That's what that was. Okay, but it was used to be part of something called HEW, which was Health, Education, and Welfare. Most of HEW is now HHS, so now education separate, right? So he's not technically allowed to actually close down the department because it was created by Congress. So he didn't do that. Okay, they're going to leave us. There's a secretary